Welcome. Today we are going to discuss the establishment of your self-managed super fund. We are here to finalize the paperwork for your new SMSF, which is a significant step in managing your retirement savings. To make sure we're all on the same page, we'll walk you through the key documents you have in front of you and discuss your responsibilities as trustees of the SMSF. First, you'll see a cover letter. This is a summary document outlining everything we're covering today and the next steps. We have some key information and fact sheets to help you keep your SMSF compliant. We recommend you read through these carefully to make sure that you are complying as the trustees of your SMSF. The SMSF Administration Service Agreement outlines the services we will be providing to help you manage the administrative side of your SMSF. Please take some time to review the terms and fees associated with this. As part of this, we most notably complete the annual tax return, financial statements, and provide an external audit as required by law. There are various other matters that are covered that we also assist with, which will come over time and may be in the background. Your SMSF is required to be audited by an external party every year. We facilitate this process with the award-winning auditors at ASF Audits, who have over 30 years' experience. This effectively takes a lot of the heavy lifting off your plate, ensuring your fund meets its annual compliance obligations without you having to manage the tax or audit process directly. We are here to answer questions on what you can or cannot do. The direct debit request is for setting up our ongoing fees included within the SMSF service agreement. These are made into monthly payments to keep more money in your fund for longer. To set up this arrangement, we will need the bank details for the SMSF account. Remember, the SMSF needs its own separate bank account. The authority to release information allows us to communicate with relevant third parties on your behalf regarding the establishment of the SMSF. This could include other departments within our company. The investment strategy is a really important document. This outlines how your SMSF will invest its funds. As trustees, you have a responsibility to create and regularly review this strategy, ensuring it aligns with your retirement goals, risk tolerance, and the fund's overall objectives. It needs to comply with the Superannuation Industry Supervision Act, or SIS Act, which requires it to consider diversification, liquidity, and your members' circumstances. We recommend speaking with your advisor for guidance. If you don't currently have an advisor, we can recommend one to you. Or you can put together an investment strategy yourself as the responsible trustee. To get you started, we have provided you with this template. The acceptance of first contribution form acknowledges the initial funds being rolled into the SMSF. If you don't have any rollovers completed by the 30th of June, this form acknowledges that you will transfer a nominal amount of $1 into the bank account for activation. This will be required to receive a bank statement showing the account has a balance for the ATO to keep your fund complying. It's a simple step, but crucial to ensure your SMSF is formally recognized and ready to receive future contributions or rollovers. The Trustee Declarations are where each of you, as trustees, formally acknowledge your understanding of your duties and responsibilities under the superannuation laws. This is a crucial step, as trustees have significant legal obligations to act in the best interests of the fund and its members. Death Benefit Nominations. This is a document where you nominate who should receive your superannuation benefits if you pass away. While not mandatory at the outset, it's highly recommended for estate planning purposes. It ensures your super goes to your chosen beneficiaries, potentially avoiding disputes and delays. We recommend speaking to your advisor to ensure your estate planning is covered, and this falls in line with your intentions and wishes. It is important to note that this is treated differently to a will, as your super is generally not included as part of your overall estate. Alright, let's talk about your SMSF trust deed. Don't let the fancy name scare you. Although one of the most important documents for your self-managed super fund, it's simpler than it sounds. Think of your SMSF as a special financial club you've set up just for your retirement savings. You're the boss of this club, and you decide where the money goes, within the super rules, of course. Now, every club, every game, every organization needs a set of rules, right? Without rules, things would be a mess, and no one would know what they can and can't do. We generally recommend a corporate trustee structure for your SMSF. For a very small, simple fund with clear future plans and no complex investments, like property with loans, individual trustees can be cheaper upfront. However, for most people, especially if you plan to have your SMSF for the long term, potentially grow it, add family members, or consider borrowing for investments. The corporate trustee almost always outweighs the extra initial cost. It offers far greater protection, flexibility, and administrative ease in the long run. Think of it as paying a little bit more for a much sturdier, safer, and less complicated future for your retirement savings. If a bare trust with a corporate trustee is part of your structure, it is often used with limited recourse borrowing arrangements, or LRBA, for property investment purposes. Let's strip away the legal jargon and get straight to what these things actually mean for you. What is a bare trust? A bare trust is rather straightforward. Think of it like a simple agreement where one person, the trustee, holds something, but they have absolutely no say or control over it. They're just a placeholder. The real owner, the person who actually gets to use, sell, or benefit from the asset, tells the trustee exactly what to do. The trustee can't do anything without the real owner's say-so. They're basically just holding it bare for the true owner. If your self-managed super fund wants to borrow money to buy a property, the law says the super fund can't directly own that property until the loan is paid off. So, a bare trust steps in. A bare trustee, your corporate trustee, holds the property on behalf of your super fund. Your super fund tells that trustee what to do with the property, and when the loan is paid, the property can then go directly into your super fund. It's a special setup just for this specific borrowing rule. Sometimes, you just need someone to hold something briefly for you, without any complex rules attached. So, a bare trust is an arrangement where the trustee is just a passive holder, and the real owner calls all the shots. Once the loan is paid out, you will need to seek help from a conveyancer to transfer the title of the property back to your SMSF. While this is a lot of information, it's important that you have a solid grasp of these concepts. We are always here to provide ongoing support with the administration, compliance aspects, and to answer or direct any questions you may have. What is a company trustee? Imagine you want to set up a special legal box to hold your important things, like investments or a super fund. Now, someone needs to be in charge of that box. Normally, that someone could be you, your partner, or a friend. A company trustee, we also call it a corporate trustee, is simply using a company to be in charge of that box. So instead of John Smith being in charge, it's Smith Family Proprietary Limited. Why do this? If the box, the trust, gets into trouble, the company is usually the one that takes the hit, not you personally or your other assets within your SMSF. It's like putting a shield between your personal money, your other SMSF assets, and the property loan liability. The company is always there. People come and go, but a company can, in theory, last forever. So, if one person involved steps down or passes away, the company continues. You don't have to reshuffle all the paperwork or ownership of the assets. It makes things much smoother in the long run. A company trustee is all about making your trust safer and more stable. Your SMSF trust deed is simply the official rulebook for your super fund. It's a legal document that lays out the following. 1. Who is in charge? It confirms that you, and any other members, the trustees, are the ones making the decisions for the fund. 2. What you can do. It spells out all the powers you have as trustees, like investing in shares, property, or term deposits. It also lists what you can't do, often mirroring the strict rules from the ATO. 3. Who benefits? It clearly states that the money in the fund is there for the sole purpose of providing retirement benefits to the members, like yourself. 4. How you make decisions. It covers things like how meetings are held, how disputes are resolved, and how changes to the fund are made. 5. Future scenarios. It includes important details about what happens when members retire, pass away, or if the fund ever needs to be wound up. Why is it so important? It keeps you legal. The ATO demands you have a valid, up-to-date trust deed. Without one, your fund isn't technically a super fund, and you could face big penalties. It gives you power and limits it. It's the document that gives you the legal authority to manage your super, but it also ensures you stick to the law. It guides your decisions. If you're ever unsure about what your fund can or can't do, the trust deed is your first point of reference. It evolves. Just like rules change in games, super laws change. So your trust deed needs to be reviewed and updated at times to make sure it's always in line with the latest regulations. This is why we often suggest amendments or restatements. In a nutshell, your SMSF trust deed is the governing document of your super fund. It's the fundamental legal document that ensures your fund operates correctly, legally, and for your benefit in retirement. It's not something you'll look at every day, but it's the bedrock that everything else in your SMSF stands on. Now we'll explore your obligations as trustees. This is where the responsibilities come in, and it's essential you're clear on these. As trustees, you have a legal responsibility to the following: to act in the best interests of all members. This is the paramount duty. It means you must always prioritize the financial interests of the fund's members, which includes yourselves, over your own. For example, you cannot use the fund's money to purchase assets primarily for your personal enjoyment, like a holiday house, unless it strictly adheres to the sole purpose test and all other regulations. The reason is that superannuation law is designed to ensure funds are used for retirement, not personal or a related person's benefit during your working life. Comply with superannuation laws and the trust deed. You must ensure the fund operates within the boundaries of the SIS Act and regulations and adheres to the specific rules set out in your fund's trust deed. For instance, the SIS Act restricts lending money to members. The trust deed might also have specific investment restrictions. Ignoring these rules can lead to penalties and compliance issues. We will help keep you updated on changes to super laws, but it's important to ask us if you're ever unsure about a particular transaction. Keeping accurate records. You are required to maintain detailed and accurate records of all the fund's transactions, investments, and decisions. This includes bank statements, invoices, investment records, meeting minutes, and accounting records. The reason is that these records are essential for audits, tax reporting, and demonstrating compliance with the law. Set up a dedicated folder for all SMSF-related documents as soon as you receive them. If done digitally, ensure you have a backup. Good record keeping makes the entire audit process much smoother. Preparing annual accounts and arrange for an independent audit. Each year, the SMSF must prepare financial statements and undergo an independent audit by an approved SMSF auditor. The audit ensures the fund's accounts are accurate and that it has complied with superannuation laws. SMSFs generally receive concessional tax treatment, but it's crucial to comply with the tax rules to maintain those benefits. We'll manage the preparation of your annual accounts and facilitate the audit process for you. Just ensure you provide us with all the necessary documents in a timely manner. Managing the fund's investments carefully. You must exercise care, skill, and diligence when making investment decisions for the fund. This means considering risk and return, diversifying investments, and seeking professional advice when necessary. You can't make reckless or speculative investments that could jeopardize the members' savings. Regularly review your investment strategy and consider consulting your financial advisor before making significant investment changes. Maintaining an up-to-date investment strategy. As we discussed, the investment strategy is your fund's investment roadmap. It needs to be reviewed regularly and updated to reflect any changes in the member's circumstances or investment market conditions. For example, if a member's risk tolerance changes as they approach retirement, the strategy should be adjusted accordingly. We usually recommend an annual review of your investment strategy, perhaps around the time you meet with your financial advisor, should you have one. Ensuring the fund meets the sole purpose test. The SMSF must be maintained for the sole purpose of providing retirement benefits to its members. This is a fundamental principle. The fund cannot be used to provide current-day benefits to members or their associates. For instance, using fund assets to buy a holiday home for personal use would likely breach this test. Always remember that your SMSF's primary objective is your retirement. All decisions should work towards this goal. Thank you for taking the time to go through the setup of your self-managed super fund. We understand it's a lot of information, but these documents and responsibilities form the foundation of a compliant and successful SMSF. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. We're here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions now or down the track, please don't hesitate to reach out. We look forward to helping you make the most of your retirement savings and keeping your SMSF on track. Thanks again for watching, and welcome to this new chapter in managing your financial future.